I was like, this is the kind of comedic writing that I have always wanted to do. And then once I paid attention to who was actually behind it, I got even more excited. And then I was like, Christina, we got to get this part. Like I had a little chat with myself. I was like, we have to book this, okay?
Well, hello. It is so nice to
Hi,
meet you guys.
you
Hello,
you.
Rachel.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to talk to you. I am such a big fan of this series. Man, I gotta start off by asking each of you, what was your reaction when you first read the script and kind of learned the premise of the show?
We got the scripts like as we would shoot. So we sort of like we couldn't see too far ahead, you know? We only really knew what we were shooting. And it was always really, really exciting to do. Like we would get like I would sort of I'd get a script like one night and we'd have a table read the next morning. So it was almost like a cold read with the cast.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was just always so exciting to discover what the writers had come up with. Um yeah. I was always, I don't know. I was always just like really excited to sort of discover that, and all the more excited to discover what they've written for a potential season two, because we don't know whether or not that'll happen, but we do know that they have written it, so it is there to be explored and to be shot. If the network decides to do that. So I know the writers are really excited about where they took things and what they came up with. And yeah, I want to read that and I want to shoot that. So
Yeah, this was the first project where like I agree with Ignacio. I would be excited every week for the table read because it was like every script was somehow better than the last. And the last was great. So it was like, how is this show just getting funnier and funnier? The first time I read the script, like the pilot script, um, I was like, this is the kind of comedic writing that I have always wanted to do. And then once I paid attention to who was actually behind it, I got even more excited. And then I was like, Christina, we got to get this part. Like I had a little chat with myself. I was like, we have to book this, okay? We have to book this.
it worked.
It worked.
Good. It worked out great.
It worked. It
Yeah,
worked
you
out.
could have that talk with yourself before every audition.
I try to. It doesn't always.
Yeah.
Well, Rafa and Drea honestly have one of my all-time favorite mother-son dynamics just because of how unique it is. I'm curious how you guys would describe their bond.
It is unique because I think there's such a respect that Rafa has for his mom, but there's also a friendship there because it's even though they have their uncles, it's still just been the two of them, and they're both equally protective of each other. And I also think it's unique in that Drea also really respects Rafa. Like I think she looks at him and she sees um, much more than maybe even he sees in himself. And she just, I think a lot of parents feel that way, but like Drea really looks at Rafa and she's like, wow, like he is special. Like my son is so talented and so gifted. And like, I want to support everything he's doing and see this all come to fruition, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it, but I think she respects him as well in an interesting way, even though that's her son, you know.
No, totally. Like I think there's a lot.
Admires him. That's the word. She admires him too.
Yeah, but like lets him be his own person that makes his own decisions and makes his own
Yeah.
mistakes and
Yeah.
lets his successes be his own, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and there's a ton to be said about that because like I think, obviously I'm not a parent, but like from what I gathered, like it must be very difficult to like as much as you love your child to obviously you want the best for them.
Mm.
And so to let them really figure things out on their own and giving them the space and agency to do that. Like, I think I really admire that about Drea, and the fact that she, and the fact that that's like so important to her. Yeah, I think I think that's a huge testament to like how great of a mother she is. They're each other's sort of like whole world,
That's it. That's it. That's the answer right there.
That was really good.
That's it. Plain and simple. Nothing more needs to be said.
Well, when you throw in all the uncles, there's an even more interesting family dynamic at play here. How do you feel that the chaos they create helps to bring the show to life and elevate the comedy?
I mean, chaos is always funny to me. I don't know if that's my upbringing that was a little, but it's I think because there are so many different personalities and so many different dynamics going on. There's just a lot of opportunity for comedy there.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of what makes it so chaotic is that that each of these characters are so specific and so specifically defined. It's not random chaos. It's real conflict, it's real like difference of opinions. It's real sort of, it's the real like tension created by actually different personalities sort of having to coexist. That being said, still people that like fundamentally, love each other and live life together and like would die for the other. But for Rafa, I think that chaos is like the only like space he knows to live in. It's the only thing he's ever known. And just speaking for myself, like as an actor, when all the uncles were on set together, and the real life chaos that would create, not just like on camera on scenes, but like on set, just like how funny it would be and how much they would be cracking at each other, like in real life. There's I don't want to say that the real life dynamic like is completely like what's in the show, but there is a little bit of a mirroring, at least in terms of the chaos. Like, there's a different, much healthier chaos, like in real life, but the energy that they bring and how alive like this, the set becomes when everyone is together. That's not something that you can fake. And when that happens, it makes the show,
Yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit, Ignacio, with this being a coming of age story, how did you want your performance to shape Rafa's evolution and show him in a visibly different place in the finale than he was when we first see him in the pilot?
That is a thoughtful question.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I hadn't read the finale. Like I hadn't even read an episode ahead. So it's not like I couldn't calibrate the arc in that way. But also like, even just, we were block shooting. So we were shooting more than one episode at a time, jumping in and out of scenes, completely out of sequence. So, I think I really just had to like focus on, being present in that moment, and Rafa being present in that moment, and knowing like what had just happened, and where I had just come from and where I wanted to go in the immediate sense as the character. But yeah, I didn't know where things were going to land. And I was discovering that as we were shooting. But certainly there's an evolution like to him throughout the season. As there is for any person, but especially for any teenager, like there's a period in time where, you're growing at an exponential rate. So thank you for saying that, and thank you for asking that. And I hope he grows throughout the season. I know he's certainly written that way. Like, I hope I did him justice in that way. But I don't know. I think I think just before every scene, you sort of have to like map out where you are in the story, how much you know of the story, and then really place yourself like there in that moment, and not be too in your head about like where you're going to land, like however many steps ahead,
Well, we also have to talk about Rafa and Maya. they have that great moment in the finale. It really comes full circle. I'm a shipper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cried.
Oh, it was so great. How was being able to play that out and bring it full circle by the end of the season?
That was really great. I'm in a unique position in the show where like I get to live in, like we said, the chaos of his home life, of Rafa's home life, and then explore this much more like dialed down, sweeter, like more grounded thing of like a teenager, having a crush on someone and figuring out how to go about that, and how to how to get the girl. And so that was really exciting to like jump in between those worlds. And, obviously, like, I was shipping them too. I didn't know what would happen. I don't want to say what does happen. But man, that stuff was really, that stuff was really fun to shoot in a different way than the fun I have like shooting, the chaotic like home stuff. And I'll say also, actually, like, all this is coming to our mind right now. We shot a while ago. That last episode is directed by Rebecca Asher. And man, like, what a wonderful person to have led that. Like, she was so, I don't even know what it is I'm trying to say, I think. But I think she really understood like the tone of that, and really I don't know, just really led us through that in a way that was so that made it so like kind of comfortable, and like and kind of put us at ease. And I'm just rambling.
Yeah. I agree. She was the perfect person to direct that episode, and specifically that moment with you and Maya.
The last two. Yeah, I just remember being with her, and being with, I don't know what I can say, but just like at night, like on the street in Albuquerque, and it was a different vibe. Like, all of a sudden it felt like a different show. Like, it was a different vibe, like on set, like and that was really, I don't know, it was just really cool. And I hope we get to explore more of that for sure.
Well, it looks like that is about my time for today. But oh my goodness, thank you guys so much for chatting with me about
Thanks, Rachel.
You were both so delightful, and I have all the fingers crossed for season 2. Oh my goodness.
Oh, me too. Thank you so much, Rachel. I read something you wrote about like that you love Teen Wolf. It's like your favorite show, and that you're hoping Styles like comes back to the movie or something. So hopefully, I'm hoping with you.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you for that support.
Dylan O'Brien. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. You have a good one.